Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name is Matt, and today we're going to review Dead Box number 1. And before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, so Dead Box is the new Vault comic, and it's their Nightfall line, which is kind of like their more horror line. Which is why I picked this up. I'm a big fan of horror books, and I just like to support them. So, so I had no idea what this was, but it looked weird and interesting. And the description was kind of supernatural sounding. Like there's a kind of red box equivalence in this town, and it knows secrets about people or something, and it's horrific. That's what it said it was. So, but we start off here in the fictional town of Lost Turkey. Which seems like it's in, the Greater Lakes area, maybe Michigan or something like that. Basically, we get introduced to this town through the eyes of this girl named Penny, who is working at her dad's store. And she's from this little town. And she kind of critiques it. This opening scenes are all her kind of critiquing small town America, I guess what you could say. It definitely gets into a little bit of critiques of, obviously there's guns, there's police, there's American flags, and things like Christianity and army posters for enlisting and stuff. But we find out basically that, well, her dad is not well, he is sick, and she has stayed home from college this semester to take care of the family store so that they can pay for her dad's medical bills. And so she's talking to this couple, and a weird thing happens at the end of this scene. This gentleman here says, all the same, don't stay too long in this town, it'll kill you. And then he turns, and so it says, Lord knows it killed me. And then he's got these weird eyes. So they set it up like, see a robot or some shit? What's going on? See a ghost? What's going on with this? But then after that, he leaves. She's like, that's kind of weird. And basically, she just rents a movie from the Dead Box. That's what it's called. And like I said, this is supposed to be like a red box from your store where you can just rent a movie. And she says, like, none of the movies in here are anything you've ever heard of. She, in fact, has tried to look them up and has never found anything on them. Basically, this thing just has movies no one's ever heard of in it. So she rents one for the evening. And as she picks it out, it's the movie called The Lonely Planet with Gabriel Bride starring. And as she's looking at it, we hear her dad talking to her. We don't really see him too much. He just looks very infirmed. She gives him some food. That's about it. We get like, oh, he's not going to the hospital because it costs money. And he's like, you know what? Just give me my pills. It'll be fine. I'm just going to die here. Don't worry about it, kind of thing. And then to get away from this situation, because she has to say, she doesn't have to, but she tells her dad, Dad, you're not dying. But then immediately knows she's lying to him and herself when she says that. So she puts on the movie just to kind of distract her. And basically we just get this, the rest of this comic is this movie and the story of it. And I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like a Watchmen thing where in the comic book Watchmen, there's like a story within a story going on a lot. There's like a comic book inside the comic book that a kid is reading, and it's about pirates, but it's actually about what's going on in the comic. So it's like a meta thing. I don't know if that's what this writer's trying to do, but basically they just tell the story of Earth made contact with these aliens called the Greyleks. It turns out if we send a ship to them, it will be 50 years for our guy, but it'll be 200 years on Earth, but the guy will have only aged 50 years going to them. So they get a young guy who volunteers. They send him to the planet. In the meantime, the planet is preparing for him. They're like learning all of America's customs or Earth's customs. And then in the middle of this movie, we get another character come in who's just like the local gun shop owner, which is another kind of commentary on small America or whatever. And I gotta say, this gun shop owner is not very good with his muzzle control or his finger positioning. But they do kind of a bad. It's basically a bad caricature of this, kind of character, and they have a little argument about how guns don't really save anybody. And then he goes away. Then we get some more talking about the like the stupidity of freedom in small towns like this or whatnot. And then we get back to the story in the movie. So I don't know why we're talking so much about the freedom of little cities in middle America and how bad that is or whatnot. But then we cut back to, like I said, this sci-fi story of this Earthman has been traveling for so long and everybody's so excited to meet him, but he's, been in isolation for 50 years now. And basically when he goes to the planet, he looks crazy. He's like, pissed all over himself. He's starving. Then before he even like gets a bath or anything, they're all like, wait, you're not the guy that we thought was coming. Like, that dude looks like this and you look crazy. You get off the planet, basically, and we'll never talk to you again. So they kick him back to Earth, and that's kind of it, like with this sci-fi story. And then Penny gets interrupted by the end of this movie by her dad yelling for her. And I'm going to stop it there. I don't want to spoil anything else. Gotta say, this book didn't really have anything horrific in it. The only thing that was kind of intriguing was the guy that had the weird red eyes after he said, don't stay in this town, it'll kill you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was nothing really going on in this comic that other than like the commentary of this girl that wants to leave the small town USA and her commentary on the people and the politics of those places. And then this sci-fi movie that it's kind of mirroring things where I guess it would be like, you're expecting one thing and then you see someone from another culture or another area and they look like this or that. And no one will want you, basically. If you act a certain way, no one will want you. And that's kind of, I guess, the critique that she's putting forth of this small town. But nothing horrific happens. I don't know what that has to do with the main story. It doesn't seem like a lot. Like, if the story is from what the back of the cover says is, this dead box knows secrets about the town, the people. It's going to unleash some kind of craziness in the town. The variant cover for this has, like tentacles and Cthulhu things coming out of it. So I'm like, where's that stuff? So I got to say, nothing really horrific happens and nothing really happens other than we get a little bit of a critique of small middle America towns. So I'm going to give this 1 or 2. I didn't really like it. I mean, I would be interested to read what happens next, like if it actually gets to anything interesting, but like someone would have to tell me that it gets to something. I wouldn't pick this one up on my own after that. So I don't know, not my thing, but maybe your mileage is different. It did have the story between her father and her is kind of heart-wrenching. So maybe if you've ever lived in a small town and felt trapped there, and also if you've gone through some kind of like tragic family stuff with losing family members to illnesses and whatnot, this might hit harder for you. It might connect with you more. To me, this didn't do anything for me. There was no horror in it at all. And it's kind of misleading from the cover and what, it said it was going to be. So, like I said, I'm going to give this one a 2. And even that might be a little too high just because it was readable, but it just, nothing happens in it at all. So, but they can't all be winners. So with that being said, we'll see you guys on the next one.